1, 2, 3.
Yes, it's the Late Late Breakfast Show with your host, Bernie J. Mitchell.
Are you in?
Are you in?
Hello and welcome to episode, I think I should check really, but it's on like 80, might even be 90 now, but...
Is it 90? Very good.
Is it 90
I don't
already?
know.
And with me, as sometimes infrequently, is Mr. Andy Bargery.
Hello, Bernie.
What's your portfolio career, freelancing portfolio career delivering at the moment?
My freelancing portfolio career at the moment is delivering marketing communications advice and consultancy to small companies.
Which is why we're sitting here, because if I hired Andy, I'd have to, sell my family. But if I tell him we're going to do a podcast, he'll just sit here in work hubs and pontificate.
We'll do it for free.
For free. So we were going to talk about SEO, but we sort of suddenly started talking about video, and that seems more
interesting
because we go with what we're there. We know we're like on the thing. So what? Obviously, like. We've just been watching the co-pass and the work hubs video, and what sparked my interest was talking about what people use their YouTube channel. It's so hot here.
You're melting.
I am.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help drinking hot tea either. But what do people use their YouTube channel for? Because we all open a YouTube channel, and
I think you get one when you open up a Gmail account. You're given a YouTube account, aren't you, as well? And quite often people will just pop a couple of videos on there and forget all about it. That kind of thing we used to have with blogging, which is if you build it, they will come. But of course they don't these days, because there's so much information available on the web that if you haven't thought through your strategy as to how you're going to use video, it probably won't generate much of a response for you.
So how do you... Who is killing it on YouTube at the moment?
Well, I think there's a number of YouTubers that really are making a lot of impact and a lot of money off the back of it as well, just by showing who they are and what they're doing, and giving some ideas to their personality and having fun online. A couple of people like KSI. Look up KSI. He's just having a good time on YouTube, basically making an awful lot of money out of it. And there are lots of big YouTubers that are doing
KSI? That. Is he the guy?
He's a presenter, YouTube presenter.
Is he the one with the glasses and who posts every day?
He probably does post every day. Does he wear glasses? For the life of me, I can't picture him right now, but he might do. Yeah.
And in terms of a business thing, yesterday, anyway, whatever it was, I was reading this blog about basic income by a chap called Scott Strattons, and he said about how, I don't know, just the way we consume media is changing. So he had a cable channel and cancelled the cable channel and moved, and then just started, in between moving, he was started watching YouTube, and then he found a couple of things on YouTube of people like you and me that post regularly, and thought, why am I paying the cable channel for all that shit for 97 million channels and I only really like one of them?
If you haven't really explored YouTube, you don't really know how good it is, actually. And I'm one of those people until about 3 months ago. I knew of YouTube. I'd posted a couple of videos. I'd watched plenty on there. But until I started to actually look at it and understand it and subscribe to channels, I didn't realise just how good it really is.
It is.
And how much content there is on there to enjoy for free, basically. So it's a brilliant, brilliant platform. And I think it's been somewhat overlooked in the last few years, because Google really messed it up when they made you have a Google Plus profile to be able to access and engage on YouTube. And I think that alienated quite a few people.
That pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, particularly those YouTubers that had been established and using the channel, then had to start working with Google Plus, which, as we all know, is a bit of a shambles. But YouTube is still a brilliant, brilliant platform for entertainment, basically.
Do you know about YouTube Red?
YouTube Red. Tell me about YouTube Red.
Right, you will never need Spotify again and all that. So there's it's only available in some countries at the moment, but there's YouTube Red, which means you can get an app on your phone, subscribe to YouTube with no adverts, and then just whatever's on YouTube you can just download and put on your phone.
Well, so you pay a fee for that, right? A monthly fee.
Yeah, it's like 11. It's in that sort of $10 to $15 thing. So
you're right. It's not available here. I think it's just in the US and Australia right now, isn't it? Something like that.
And like Netflix originals like Get Down, which I'm a little bit addicted to at the moment. There's YouTube originals. Maybe we have those already and I've missed them, but
I don't think we have it. Maybe not in this country. I'm not sure, but YouTube Red I have heard about. Just because it's not here yet, I don't know much about it.
I'm going to be getting myself some YouTube Red because then you get access to. There's stuff you can't find Spotify and Apple Music and like things like specific Gap Band songs and Marillion tunes and stuff. Prince that.
There's a lot of music on YouTube actually. Much of it is on the Vivo channels, isn't it? But I think I was watching. My favourite song ever in the world is the JCB song. Do you know that one? By a band called Niz Lopi. No. Watch it because you'll like it because it's all about a little boy spending time with his dad and it basically kills me every time I watch it. But the video is animation basically of this little boy and his dad and their JCB. It's a really, really nice song.
Link in the chat. Oh, so it's not. I thought it was like a sort of Foo Fighters type thing.
No. It's a really gentle song, but it's just lovely if you watch it. It's one for dads. Okay, if you're a dad, which you are, Bernie, obviously, you'll probably appreciate it. Oh. And if you don't, then maybe it's just me being a bit soppy and soft.
I'm with that soppiness.
Yeah, since you have children, you change.
Yeah.
But YouTube as well is a great environment for kids because they have their YouTube for Kids app, which basically cuts out all of the very dodgy, dubious content that children can't see.
Well, that's the stuff my son likes, Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to comment on that. Hopefully, we
sinking spears into the head of aliens and stuff like that. Try to do some Peppa Pig on him, and he's not interested.
Not enough killing in Peppa. But YouTube's a great little platform, and I think that what we'll find, and part of my reason for thinking this is there was lots and lots of research released in the last couple of years from people like Ofcom and obviously YouTube are shouting about the fact that video is growing. But maybe a few months ago, somebody at Facebook said that they expect within the next couple of years that 90% of content on Facebook will be video. So there's a whole shift towards the type of content, the type of information we consume online. It's moving away from blogs and images and stuff into video format.
And because all the podcasting people are saying is that the future is, if you go and see a blogger, it's the future is blogging. But if you podcast, you don't have to watch it, you can take it anywhere you like with you and you can run and all that type of stuff. So that's the case for podcasting. But what is it with video? Because there's Facebook Live, there's Snapchat and Instagram have got that video thing, which
I think it's just more engaging. There's more depth to it. Having to read, you can consume it quite easily. There's no effort to watching a bit of video. It's just it doesn't require any real effort from you as a consumer to enjoy it. I can just sit there and vegetate watching stuff on YouTube quite comfortably and be entertained and engaged by that. And as you scroll through your news feed on Facebook, for example, guarantee the first thing that catches your eye is the moving image you see from a video. So that kind of stuff, I think, it makes it an engaging medium to work with as a marketeer as well.
And what about the live streaming element?
Yeah, Facebook Live is really, really interesting. I think I've yet to see anything on there that I've really thought, wow, that's a great application of Facebook Live. But it's fairly young, isn't it? And I think I think as that grows, people get used to it, people get better at using that format. They'll be very, very engaging. Yeah, equivalent to that, I suppose, is you see people using Snapchat and kind of live streaming their lives, as it were. There's a lot of absolute drivel out there, but if you're prepared to spend your time looking for the good stuff, then you'll find it.
Well, I also think from a brand point of view, not that I'm a brandy person, but if the more real something is, the more inclined I am to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'd agree with that as well. Because you can tell a really authentic story. You can tell by looking at a video, you can see someone's expression, the way they're talking, the way they're telling their story as to whether there's authenticity in that. And you can engage that more easily.
If there's an advert for clothes with Kylie Minogue and Leonardo DiCaprio in it, I might go, oh, that's quite good. But if I see like some people that look a little bit more like me on a handheld shaky video camera riding a scooter, I think I could pull that off. It's more in my world. So maybe does it make more sense to make perhaps apparently crapper quality video that's more real than?
I think it's a real mixed bag. We were kind of just talking before you hit record on your device here that some of the big brands are getting this wrong because they're looking at video as a way just to stitch together a bunch of commercials, and they're going to their ad agencies to create those those advert-driven videos to push out through YouTube. But what people are actually looking for is a slightly more authentic, engaging experience. So that slightly less polished or more raw video performance is probably going to be more engaging when put out through social media than a really high polished advert. Not to say that there isn't scope for adverts as well, because there always will be, because adverts are an art form really it's done really, really well. But I think you've got an opportunity here to look at it from both sides. It's not advert, it's perhaps more, not advertising, it's perhaps more engaging content, it's more storytelling.
There's a whole riff on the Rainmaker guys and the Copy Blogger guys about media, not marketing. And it's producing, and it goes back to...
That's the same point. Yeah, it's you're using that media, but that medium to tell a story. It's not selling all the time.
What's the Jay Baer book about being useful?
I know the one you mean. Yeah.
It will come in about 5 minutes. But utility
marketing, something like that. Yeah.
So creating media that's like, I hate the word engaging as well. Like engaging, or you stuff you want to watch and share and is relevant to you is great. But I still think there's a lot of people who misunderstand creating stuff versus advert. There's still people that kind of want to do their brochure online.
And there'll still always be room for that, right? People have still got to tell us commercial message you might have on your website, as you just showed me for this fine establishment at Work Hubs, a video promoting here and using the customers of Work Hubs to tell people how great it is to work in this space. I think that's great it is to work in this space. And there'll always be
it is great, isn't it?
Room for that.
It's just amazing here, isn't it?
It's warm, but it's not a space. Got good people, good atmosphere in Work Hubs. But there's also an opportunity for those that can tell a more authentic story to have a kind of ongoing narrative, helping people using video as a format.
So one of the I'm not quite sure how this connects to what you just said, but one of the best things I've ever seen on YouTube is the Will It Blend stuff.
Yes, I still love Will It Blend.
They nailed it with that.
Yeah. Blendtec.
Do you want to explain it?
So Blendtec is a manufacturer in America that makes food blenders, and their kind of USP was it can blend anything. And so the way they proved this was they had the founder of the company in a lab environment with a lab coat on, with a Blendtec blender right in the middle of this bench. And each week or month, however their schedule was, they would blend something different, like an iPhone or
a car.
I don't think they blended a car or a toy car.
I bet they did.
They blended some glow sticks ones. I thought was quite a good one. But they just trying to show the power of how good the blenders were, because they could blend anything. And it was such a successful campaign for them. I know they released a case study to show actually how they saw uplift in sales based on those.
It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Them and Gary Vaynerchuk were the social media YouTube darlings of their
time.
Absolutely.
They got it exactly right with Blendtec. Kudos to those guys.
And the way he came around with the blend. Do you know how it started?
No, go on.
So there was a marketing manager who goes, he was hired, and he's like, we sell blenders here, and you've got to find a way to blend them. And he was walking around it was like 3 months he'd been there going, I don't know what we're going to do, because you can make some brochures, do an advert, and do some banner advertising. And then he walked into the boardroom one day, and he saw the CEO with I think legend would have it, but let's just go with it anyway. There were a load of guys from Starbucks around the boardroom table, and the CEO was pounding this huge bit of wood into a blender to prove how robust it was. And he's like, that's it. We'll just video that and put it on YouTube, and it was away from there.
And the rest, as they say, is history. Yeah.
But it was really, really cost. I suppose, is that guerrilla marketing? I don't know. It's like
I don't know what the term for that is.
It was a marketing hack.
It was a viral marketing hack. Yeah, maybe it was a marketing hack. I don't know really, but it's such a simple idea. It was engaging, and you see lots of formats on YouTube that I think are really interesting, like challenge type videos, or we've been doing some stuff with some sports stars, and giving them some ideas around the different types of formats they can use. Not Usain Bolt, unfortunately. No. For the audio, there's aren't in the room, Bernie did Usain Bolt's what is that? His pose.
It's pointed to whatever it is. It's cool.
What is that called? It's not the Mobot, because that's...
Oh!
But yeah, no, I think there's so much scope for creativity using video, and what's great about it is that the cost of producing good videos come down. You know, it's much more approachable as a medium. You know, now you can record a decent quality video, some audio on your iPhone, really, as long as you're careful about how you edit it and produce it and put it out. There's no reason why anybody couldn't start doing video and creating YouTube channels.
And if you, because we've sat through a lot of video classes, haven't we, over the years. If you're going to record something on video, if you work it out a little bit beforehand, you could probably get it in, you know, one take and then just upload it straight away.
Yeah, if you were really careful about it, absolutely.
And then when you get onto YouTube, this is something I always got stamped with and was delighted when I found out you could do it. You can just put what do you call it? You can put
I don't know, I'm not sure where you're going yet.
On big fish, little fish, big fish.
You're dancing away in the room.
You can choose your screenshot.
Your thumbnail.
And you can make a thumbnail in there, so it will say, like, you know, Andy Bargery, weddings, funerals and bar mitzvahs as the holding thing.
Yeah, you can do that. In the thumbnail, your thumbnail strategy is really important when it comes to your success on YouTube as well. If you look at successful YouTube channels, one of the things they do really, really well is they make sure it's clear on the thumbnail who's in the video and why you should watch it, with really clear titles. And they're consistent about how they approach that, and that helps people to understand and engage with your channel, because they know what the quality of the content's going to be when they see it at the top level.
And there's 2 free tools you can use for that.
Go on then.
Canva.
Okay.
And Pablo, which is by Buffer. And there's...
Tell me about Canva and Pablo. I know I've heard of Canva, but I have no idea what Pablo is.
Pablo is... it's by Buffer, who do the social media stuff. And you can choose a picture or upload a picture and then write text over it, and it's a web-only application, so you can't, you know, download it or you can't do much to it, but you can just have a picture, make it lighter or darker, and put some words in the middle. So it's what I use for all my... After searching around every bloody app known to man, I went, I wonder if this one works that I've been looking down on for years.
And that's Pablo or Canva?
That's Pablo.
Okay.
So Pablo Picasso, is that right?
Yeah.
And then Canva is... There's a free and a paid one, but the only difference with the paid one is there's more storage and you can resize images and some more technical stuff.
Yeah.
But that's where you can just like layer pictures over each other. So I can so for the show notes, that's what I use to make that, you know, picture of Andy and Mitch Joel at Google. And then I put the Late Breakfast Show logo on there and change the writing.
So they're kind of like online cut down versions of Photoshop to create those thumbnails. Yeah, perfect.
And they're really easy to use.
That makes all the difference to have those thumbnails produced like that and looking really sharp.
And they do look.
They do look sharp.
They're easy to use as well. Like if you spend an hour tinkering around in it, and then you'll be able to sort of set up a template and you're away.
Cool.
There was something else there that was. So the other eye rolling thing was telling your story. You know, because one of us had to like bring it up.
We're on to storytelling. Okay.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Because we know what that means. We so know what it means that we just go, oh no, not telling a story again. But it's, you know, for people who run a co-working space or a shop or an architect's, how do they even begin to tell their story?
Let's talk about a co-working space. For me, the story of a co-working space is what it's like as a place for people to come along and to work and to meet people and network and grow their solo businesses, right? So the story is the narrative of this space, so showing what it's like to be in here and working in here, and who else is here, who you like to meet, and what value do you offer as a co-working space beyond a desk. You know, how can you help people to grow their businesses, what they're doing, and that kind of narrative links back to your overall marketing plan. What does it that you stand for? What is it that you want to communicate, and how can we tell that story of what you can deliver and how you can help people through your video? And I think that video is a great platform for doing that for a co-working space.
Just to put you massively on the spot here, can you think of a video I can link to in the show notes that really tells the story?
I think you should the video you showed me a little bit earlier on kind of starts to tell the story, but it's much more a promotional piece, isn't it? But start with that, because you kind of got the basics there of what that might look like. But you know, I'm going to have to come back to you on other suggestions right on the spot.
Because the one I love the most ever, I think, is the Dollar Shave Club.
That's again an advert, though, isn't it? You know, when he's walking through the factory, and it's an amazing piece of advertising.
Really good.
Yeah, and I think they produced it on a really tiny budget as well. Yeah, but that nicely tells the story in one. It's about a couple of minutes, isn't it? It's a couple of minutes. Yeah, it's not
all
long.
in one.
Yeah,
It seems to be all in one take.
I'm sure it isn't, but yeah, look, it looks like it is. It would be amazing if that was all in one take. It does tell the story rather nicely, but again, it's an advert. It's not telling the narrative of your co-working space.
Yeah, it's quite hard to not look contrived, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But I think at the same time, you need to plan out. You need to make sure that what you're covering in your video is of value, is worthwhile. Going back to that utility marketing stuff earlier on, is people are only going to really watch your video if they're entertained or educated by it. So pick one of the two and go for it. Make sure you match your personality, your business, to whether you're an educational business or an entertaining business. And
to close, what are your thoughts on like running a series, so doing a video every week? Because I've heard we know people that have done phenomenally well with that, and I know some people, particularly in co-working spaces, that have gone, we did it like every week for 6 weeks, nothing happened. What's your? I
think that if it's got to be consistent. It's like a blog or a podcast. It's exactly the same thing. If you're going to put it out, once a week or on a regular basis, people know what to expect, and they can subscribe to it, and they might wait for it. It's like you and I are big listeners of Mitch Joel 6 Pixels podcast.
Yeah, because he's always going to be there.
Yeah, and I know on a Monday morning, when I check into my iTunes, that there'll be a new episode there, and I'm ready for that. I'm looking forward to it. But it can be the same with the video, on YouTube. People look forward to that sort of content. So, just with a blog post or a podcast or any other form of social media, be consistent and be regular with what you're producing, and people will engage with that better.
And any final thoughts for the last 6 minutes?
Yeah, well, the last 6 minutes. What we didn't talk about was different channels. We've talked a lot about YouTube, but of course, part of the skill of being successful on YouTube or any social channel is the ability to promote what you're doing across all the different channels as well. So if you're producing a 10-minute video for YouTube, you want a 30-second cut down of that to promote it and drive traffic from Instagram as well, and same through Facebook. So if you're going to go to the trouble, expense, hassle of creating some video, make sure you've got your content distribution strategy. There we go. Got the inverted commas.
Sweating your assets.
Yeah. Well, it's not about sweating the assets. I suppose it is, but it's about making sure people know where to find your video. YouTube's great, and it's a huge environment, but there's lots of competition. And
so with that, I'm now more inclined to upload video to my site so people can watch it there and post
on
it
your
to
website.
Yeah, so if it's on my website, it's on my website, and you can. Obviously, it'll be a bit awkward if you do, but you can take me apart if this is the wrong thing. So I'll upload a video on my website because there's enough room to do it there, and it plays really nicely. And then I'll post it to YouTube as well. But I'm reluctant to put the YouTube video on my website because people will be off to YouTube.
What? So you're putting it on. You're not embedding the YouTube player on your site.
No.
You're uploading video straight onto your site.
Yeah.
So then the question is, are people already coming to your site, or can they find your videos on your site? So have you really well... So we are linking back to SEO. Is your site really well optimised for people to find that video by searching for your keywords? Or are you better off using YouTube as your video outpost because people are there looking for content?
But would they get to my... I mean, obviously they could scroll down and click the link, but would they sleepwalk from YouTube to my website?
Well, I think you need to make your YouTube channel full of really great, interesting, engaging content so they subscribe there and you engage them there, rather than necessarily trying to drive them to your website. You might be able to achieve that, and of course links in the discussion area and the notes of the episode's good, but at the same time, why do you want to get them away from YouTube? You want them to engage with you somewhere, right? Maybe
I don't want them to leave my site.
Why?
I don't mind them leaving my site. It's not like
you haven't got a choice. They will leave. No matter how good your content is. I don't spend my whole time on the BBC, even though the BBC's website's full of great content. I'll watch one thing and disappear off.
I can't watch the BBC anymore.
Why not?
Because they now. We never had a TV licence because we haven't got a TV, and now you have to have a TV licence to watch it online.
Right.
but it's not as good as Netflix. But you wouldn't know that.
I don't have Netflix. Buy a TV license.
Okay.
That's why the BBC's free to air.
But it's not free.
To air.
Okay. But anyway, this is. We'll take this outside Bargery. Should we get to the other channels next time?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we haven't really talked much about Instagram or Snapchat
Sorry to leave you cliffhanging
but
there, guys.
I think that's probably enough, isn't it? There's enough video chat there. What are we on? 25 minutes. I think people by now are thinking, when are these guys going to stop talking?
So all the things in there, we're going to put a link in the show notes to the Canva and Pablo, which are free Photoshop for beginners, the Blend Tech video, and the we didn't talk about it much, but you have to watch the Lost Shave Club if that's the only action you take as a result of your time with us today.
And if you're a dad, watch the JCB song. We'll put a link into that as well. Lovely little video.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Benny.
Bring it in.
Please go to berniejmitchell.com/podcast. Benny would love your feedback and input.